Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with the timeless reading. Welcome. We're starting off with Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is a very happy card to be starting off with. Interesting. Okay, so we have Temperance coming out after Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is about joy within your life. It's about happiness. It can be about celebration. It's like the good times, the times when things are feeling right, when things are just clicking into place. It can be a time when you connect with people or places or things that you love. There can be something going on that feels really fulfilling to you currently, or you can just feel a sense of like contentment, joy, happiness with things, sort of like all of that. Having Temperance coming out feels sort of like rather than seeing Ten of Cups as being a destination, having this be more so something that you are like actively cultivating within your life, regardless sort of what's going on, sort of like being able to maintain access to things that feel fulfilling. What this can also mean too is that you are finding like what fits for you and what's resonating with you. And so right now there can be more of a focus on what's going on with you in your internal world, knowing that if things aren't right internally, it doesn't matter what's going on externally, like it's never really going to be enough. And so this can be putting a really big focus on how you are feeling, like what is you're experiencing. And this doesn't mean like sometimes you're not going to be upset or you're not going to be in pain or whatever. This is more so like when you look at a zoomed out perspective of what's going on within your life, does it feel like things are like they're supposed to be, you know, like you're experiencing what you want to experiencing? Are you making choices? Are you making decisions that prioritize your pursuit of joy and connection and fulfillment and satisfaction and love within your life? Or are you prioritizing things other than that? And so Temperance feels like I'm figuring out, when I say like what makes me happy, it almost feels kind of reductive to say that, because it's not just about what makes you happy. It's like, what about when times are really trying, you know, like do you have support around you? It's that type of stuff where sort of no matter what's going on, you feel like you're still in the right place and like your heart is connected to the things that you're doing. So Temperance is essentially like this bigger working out of that's happening, and also learning that's happening too, you know, how to adjust, how to, when you feel like you're sort of sliding off the path, redirect yourself back onto it. And also being patient too, knowing like you're not going to be happy all of the time. Like, again, rather than looking at Ten of Cups as being just this destination that you get to and that you're sometimes like fully plucked from, this is more so understanding that it's about this place that you connect to within yourself, and that you can still have access to it regardless of what's going on. And also, yeah, I see this, like if we had 10 of Pentacles here, this can be more like you want to move things around and shift things around so that what you're physically tending to, you know, like your routines and your daily habits and like your resources and stuff like that, it can be adjustments with that, you know, the things that physically you're playing out. This is more so about like what is playing out from your feeling experience and prioritizing that. So this can mean, it can mean something like if there were a choice and you could choose starting something that you felt really connected to and happy within, versus something that may pay a lot but you feel really miserable within, It's about, you know, prioritizing what's important to you there. And if you feel like, I want to wake up and feel inspired to get out of bed every morning and build from there, rather than doing something that maybe looks good on paper but feels like it lacks substance for me within my life. And so this can sort of be the dichotomy of the choice that's being made here with this. And having temperance, this feels like a bigger thing that's going on within your life, because like in the major arcana we have temperance, in the minor arcana I see it as like all of the twos, all of the choices. So like two of pentacles, for example, you know, that's like a more each and every day, or like maybe in a specific situation, catering to this, trying to find balance, figure out what choices to make. Having temperance here is in a bigger way, finding this is like the alchemy of your life, and figuring out what is the right path when I don't have these very like concrete ideas of what things are supposed to be like, and I have to go solely based off of my internal barometer, you know? Like you have to go based off of what you're feeling and what you're tuning into, and that's going to be based off of how you're connected with your emotions, and how you're connected with your feelings, and how you're connected with your spirit, and how you're connected with your intuition, rather than there just being this external line of whether things are approved or not. It's more so going based off of like, what does this feel like to me, and does this feel right or does this not feel right, and then making choices that highlight this for you, you know, not putting your feelings on the back burner, especially when you want to feel a certain way about your life and what you're cultivating within it. So having to use that same measurement to make choices and whatnot. Because we have temperance here, this is something that will definitely be a process. Something that you're figuring out how to do. And it's also not just going to be I made all the right choices today and so now everything is perfect, even though sometimes it can feel like that. But it's more so like, what happens when you do it for a day? What happens when you're doing things in this way for a week? What happens when you're doing things in this way for a month, for a year, you know? And then what you see happen, it's going to become more and more lasting, because there's more and more of a foundation that's being laid and then built upon. So it doesn't feel as fleeting. Because this is like a longer standing, things feeling right, things feeling good, rather than this constant up and down. This is a bigger picture type of thing. Okay. So while you have that going on, so this feels more like a mindset that you're in, sort of a way that you're feeling things out within your life. So there's an orientation of you being connected with your heart space, connected with your soul, figuring things out on that level. Like you have sort of a goal here of what you're working towards, sort of like a... maybe even like a decision point that's happening, but constantly all the time. So you can have things pop up and it's like you're feeling a yes towards that on an internal level or heart space, or no, or maybe, or whatever, and then making choices based off of that, you know? It's like that point there for you. Now I'm seeing an Ace of Wands come through, which means that, so you have this in mind, this is something that you're working on in general. This Ace of Wands feels like something that comes through more on like an everyday basis, and it's, Ace of Wands is like a door that opens. As I like to see Ace of Wands usually like that. It's a door, it's an opportunity, it's a chance, it can be an offer. It's something that while you're over here doing this and figuring that out, and it feels even like this is within a container, now you have Ace of Wands coming your way. So this feels like while you do have this going on, an Ace of Wands is coming through. So you're going to look at this, but you're not going to forget that you have this going on too, the stuff that you're working out. So that means that as this Ace of Wands comes through, you're going to be checking in and being like, is that reflective of my 10 of Cups or is it not? So there's going to be just because something's presenting itself to me doesn't mean that I just go for it. I want to take this in and I need to assess it and see if this fits in what's reflective of my 10 of Cups. It may not be. This thing that's coming through and presenting itself to you, let's see it like as if it's being presented this way to you. When you're gauging this, as far as like if it stands up, if it aligns with this or not, you may actually feel like this is a no for you. So even though this can be something coming through and it is a door that's opening, if you look at it and you assess it, you may decide like, no, this doesn't fit with my like schema that I have of the 10 of Cups. Not out of a place of not being open or not being willing, but more so from a place of, if these are the types of things, if this is what I'm trying to cultivate in my life and this does not meet that standard, if I take that on, then I'm working against my 10 of Cups here. Let's see why you're feeling like 4 of Cups. We'll see if this is like your, like the guidance of it's not gonna fit, or if this is just you're not being open because something is new. Because we can have 4 of Cups be coming through for different reasons. No, this is looking like it actually just doesn't fit. So what that's going to mean, I want to pull a card just to make sure to confirm this, but what this will mean if that's the case is that like you're working on cultivating this within your life, you're going to have an opportunity that comes through, it will be a new opportunity, it will be a door that opens, make sure that you assess it, and for most of you what you're going to find is that this does not fall in line with what you're trying to do. So even though something is coming through and presenting itself to you, your guides are saying this is one of those times where you may have to say no to this, where you may not want to be going through that door because it's not going to support what you're trying to do. Yeah, you're gonna say no to this is the advice if you're staying on this side of like wanting to cultivate your 10 of Cups. That's what the guidance is. This is something that's not aligned. There may be a push for you to take this, but I'm seeing that it's not in alignment with what you're trying to do. Let's see what this opportunity is to see how you can recognize this. How can this be recognized when it's coming through? What is this Ace of Wands? This can be something that's offered to you that is not clear cut what it actually is. It feels like it's a door that you could go through, but like before you're going through it, you don't really know what's on the other side of it. I'm seeing the moon here. Anything else? Interesting, the moon and the sun. Feels like this is something that would end up actually being you putting too much on your plate. I'm seeing something about it being like unknowingly, until you get to that point, stressful. And it feels like it may actually confuse things for you more so. Yeah. It would be adding something onto your plate that you may not actually want to be on your plate. Okay. That's what we're being given right now for this. I want to pull one more card and see if there's like any other detail about this. Okay, I'm gonna pause it and we're gonna come back.